What's up guys? So long tube headers are an excellent way to really get that classic deep, lopey sound out of your 09 to 18 quad or crew cab Rams 5.7 Hemi, and they do provide a performance benefit if you've got some bolt-ons or other power adders. Now they normally require quite a bit of an investment as far as the install is concerned, and most long tubes actually ditch your factory cats, making your truck off-road only, meaning it's not going to pass emissions testing. Now then you've also got to consider whether or not you want to invest in a new exhaust system or whether you want to chop up your factory pipes and add in new pipes, and because of this many choose to stick with shorty headers instead. But shorty headers don't do much in the way of changing up your exhaust tone, and while they may flow a bit better than your factory exhaust manifolds, they simply don't provide the same benefits as long tubes will. But you don't have to worry about that thanks to some pretty cool engineering on Stainless Works' part. Now their 1 7/8 long tubes on the table in front of me feature a catted Y pipe with nice high flow cats, so you could stay street legal in most states except California, sorry West Coasters, but you still get to enjoy that flow and sound, and more importantly, these headers will bolt up to your factory exhaust. Now I'm not trying to sell you snake oil here guys, installing these long tubes is obviously going to be challenging. You're going to be tackling those studs on your heads in a very tight space. So I have to give this install a solid 3 out of 3 wrenches on my difficulty meter. Now there are a lot of options available for the 5.7 Hemi as far as long tubes are concerned, and I'd recommend these larger diameter headers if you've already got some mods installed and you're making some additional power. And I only say that because if your truck is bone stock and you're only interested in the sound and not installing more mods, then you actually may want to consider sticking with the slightly smaller 3/4 inch version of these, and that's simply because they're going to sap less of your low end torque and horsepower on a stock truck. Now obviously these long tubes are available without the cats as well as without the factory connect option if you do plan on making a full pull of your exhaust and you're not worried about emissions. And that brings me to the price. Now these do come in at around the $1,800 price point. They do cost a little bit more than uncatted Performance Connect headers, but you will need to invest in cats later on if you want to pass emissions, and you will need to consider your catback options again, or you'll need to modify your factory exhaust even further. So total investment with these will likely be less if you spend a little more upfront on this option here. Now as far as quality is concerned, no complaints whatsoever guys. Stainless Works is a pretty big name in the business. They always build really nice headers. We see very consistent and smooth welds throughout. Nice stacked coins everywhere, really clean bends thanks to the fact that these are all mandrel bent, and the flanges are nice and thick. They are laser cut, so they'll match up nicely to the D ports on your heads. Now these are also made from 304 stainless steel, which is pretty much the best stuff you can buy, so you don't have to worry about rust or cracked welds or pinhole leaks or anything like that, especially if you see a lot of rain, salt, or mud. Now Stainless Works also throws in O2 extensions, so there's no wiring necessary. American Racing does make a similar set with high flow cats for around the same price point if you've been comparing the two, but American Racing does not advertise their kits as being factory connect, so you'll likely need to invest in some custom exhaust work, or you might need to chop up your factory system even more if you opt for those instead. And talking about that install, again, this is a 3 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Guys, it'll probably take you around a day or two. Thankfully, you don't have to pull any motor or trans mounts, but you will be relocating your engine oil dipstick, which is on the driver's side. You're gonna have to get that in between the primaries. You're gonna also need an 8mm socket for the header bolts on either side. Now I'm gonna save you guys the time and tell you that each stud's gonna have to be torqued to 18 foot-pounds in sequence, so be sure to have a torque wrench handy, and also be sure to throw on those O2 extensions before you actually bolt up the new headers. Gonna leave you a lot more space to do it. It's gonna make it a hell of a lot easier. So again, if you love the idea of long tubes, but you hate the investment and the emissions concerns, then Stainless Works 1 7/8 Factory Connect long tubes are the ones for you. Be sure to check them out more on the site, and for all things Ram, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.